All right, that's the be-all, end-all of real estate investing. If you don't know how to comp properties, if you don't know how to figure out construction, you're lost. All right, hey guys, Mark McMahon Real Estate. Have you ever had someone send you a property, or have you ever stumbled across a property and wondered if it was a good deal? It happens to me all the time. I get people sending me properties that look like a good deal. And today I got one and I'm gonna go over it with you. And I don't know whether it's a good deal or not yet, because I haven't even looked at it. I kind of figured we could do it together and see if it works. And if it does, great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. Because 1 out of every 100 properties is about how many are gonna really work out. That's why you gotta make a lot of offers. But anyway, let's dive right into it, okay? All right, guys, we got this house sent to us by one of our followers. It happens every day, several times a day, several times a week. And they said that this is a good deal. Now, if that's the case, then we will pay them a bird dog fee. And that's usually $250, $300 to send us a deal. Now, they didn't vet it. They didn't call the real estate agent. They didn't get it under contract. So it's completely different than what a wholesale deal would be. But bird dogging, guys, is a great way to get started in real estate investing because there is no cost. Basically what you're doing is you're going out and finding deals that may work, and then you're allowing the investor to go and do all the due diligence to see if it actually will work. If you're going to be wholesaling, you got to do all that yourself, and then you get a much bigger fee. But to get started, this is not a bad way. So it looks like this one is a crappy little house in an area that probably isn't that great, which is fine and dandy. But I'm looking at it, obviously needs a new roof. Can't tell if the windows, they were changed out at one point. Don't know what kind of shape they're in. Front yard looks like crap. You know, it's a 432 square foot house on a almost 7,000 square foot lot. You can see that here. And it was built in 1936. Hasn't been on the market that long, but this is going to be, it's going to be a fairly tough sale. It will not be financed, guys. Houses like these cannot be financed. They would be hard money, private money, or just cash out of your pocket. But the bank will not finance this because it's not habitable. You may find private money lenders like I use that'll fund anything, and that's how we would buy this if we were to buy it. So let's take a look at the street view. So one of the things I like to do is look at the street, and I'll go around the entire, I'll do a 360-degree view to see what the neighborhood looks like. That's one of the things that gives me an idea of what everything else looks like in that neighborhood. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down and look at this information here. So it is zoned single family. Again, this is all Redfin. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. But I want to see, it says single family residence. If it said duplex or triplex, then that would be intriguing because that means I can add a couple of units. But guys, remember, if you're in California, you can add 2 extra units. You can add an ADU and a junior ADU, which we'll cover in another video. We've been covering that a little bit lately. 6,970 square foot lot. Not bad, out in Banning, they usually are a little bit bigger than that, but it's a 7,000 square foot lot, so it's not small. Flood factor right here you can see, which is cool, 1 in 10. What does that mean? On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 1, meaning there's not really much chance there's ever gonna be a flood. If it's a 10, there's probably going to be flood insurance involved on this property, which means it probably would be a bypass for me as far as a rental. And I'm looking at this strictly as a rental right now. And then we get down here. So it says that it's got an attached garage. I don't see it. So maybe that's been torn down. I didn't see it in the pictures. I like this, public sewer. That's important to me. For a rental, I don't want to deal with a septic tank if I don't have to. So public sewer is really a plus for me. That's it. So here you can see the last person that bought this house in 1988 paid $11,000. So look at that. It's a 4.2% increase year over year, each year, I mean. And that's quite the increase. But I've seen much bigger in other areas. These are the schools. Is it walkable? Yeah, somewhat, 60%, but it looked like there was places to walk to. And now we're going to look at some houses in the area that sold that were close to that. And this one sold for $150, right? So we're going to click on this one. It sold October 21st, 2022. And this one is over twice as big, and it sold for $345. And let's take a look at this one. So this one and this one, I don't really have to go much further than this for my comps because these are sold. So I'm going to look at this 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Let's see if they've got a picture of it. Yeah, they do. I can see from here it's a so-so neighborhood and a very so-so house. So this one's probably a step above the one we're looking at, but not much further. I can tell the roof's falling in and whatnot. So this is not a bad comp, but look at this. It sold for $150 in October, 673 square foot. It's what, 200 and almost 250. It is 250 square foot bigger. That's a huge difference in one of those small houses. So I'm looking like this is my price point here of what that house is worth. And let's go back to this house here. And guys, this is just a rough idea. You should be able to look at a house pretty quickly and go, this is a winner, this is a loser. Then right now we're just looking at purchase price. So this one sold for $345, and look at the inside. It's been redone. It looks nice. Looks like someone landscaped the front. So this one at $345 being twice as big is a much better deal because it's move-in ready. The other one is not move-in ready at all. It's not even financeable. So just based on this, I'm looking at a value on this house of probably around $125,000. So based on what I looked at, and I'm not going to spend hours on these kinds of things. If someone sends me a deal, I'm going to spend about 5 minutes looking to see. And from my experience, based on the comps that I see here, the value of this house is probably about $125, right? And $250 is a ridiculous amount of money for this house, in my opinion. Now, if it was closer to being correct, I would start pinpointing the neighborhood. I'd look at the neighborhood and go, okay, I can see this one is not as good of a neighborhood, or this one is a better neighborhood. And then I would start deducting and adding on to the other one to see if it compares. But guys, we are so far apart. They're asking twice what it's worth. So at this point, I'm going to say no. The other thing you want to look at is rents. Okay, so if you buy that house and you rent it out, and let's say the rent there for that little tiny house is going to be $1,000 a month. Well, I would much rather have this house for another $90,000, $95,000 that's going to rent for twice as much. Because my debt service on $90,000 is roughly, with private money, $380 a month. Guys, easy math right there. I'm getting twice the rent for an extra $380, and I've got a house that's already done. So I don't have to have a house that's going to be down for 3 months while I'm doing construction. I can buy a house like this and rent it out today and be cash flowing tomorrow. Whereas the other one's going to take 3 months to rehab, two to 3 months to rehab, even though let's say it takes 2 months because it's tiny. And then it's going to take a month to get it rented up. So I've lost 3 months right there. I'm making payments on my debt. I'm not getting any rent. This one here, it's done. I'm ready to go. So I'm going to call that a bad deal. I'm not going to spend any more time on that. So guys, what I want you to do is get really good at comping properties. All right. That's the be all end all of real estate investing. If you don't know how to comp properties, if you don't know how to figure out construction, you're lost. Learn that skill set. Learn how to do it quickly so you can mow through every single listing that comes up every single day so that you can make as many offers as possible, because this is a numbers game. I would consider offering $125 on this, and I may go ahead and write an offer for $125. I put $50,000 into that house. Now I've got a rental for $175, half the price of this one, and probably be able to cash flow, right? But Not at 250. It is not a deal at 250. So I may have the guys write up an offer on it, just a super lowball offer, all cash, close in 2 weeks sort of thing. And that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. Now, if it was closer, I would have a little bit more confidence that they're actually going to accept that offer. But obviously, they've got a buyer, they've got a seller that is not being very realistic. And the agent just took the listing just because they wanted to get a listing, is the way I see it. And they're hoping that the owner of the house will come down on their price. Anyway, learn how to comp, guys. Learn how to comp and learn how to find money. Like I said, I can borrow all the money I need to do all of these deals without taking a penny out of my pocket and still get cash flow. So that's why it's so important to be able to find deals and be able to fund deals. All right, guys. If you're interested in learning how to do that quickly, click on the link below on my Deals to Profits Mastermind, and someone will get in touch with you and explain the program and decide if you're a good fit for us and we're a good fit for you. All right, guys. Thanks a bunch. Appreciate you being here. Get out there and start practicing this stuff. If you don't practice, you will never learn the skill sets that you need to become successful as a real estate investor. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.